Let's go. Most consistent podcast ever created on planet Earth is back at it with a UFC 287 episodes, special edition. Also, Kellan had a few extra hours today. So what does that mean? He wrote up an episode. He's not just gonna wing it this time. I read into some articles. I
feel like you never
did a little bit of a deep dive. Well, I do like research, but I took more of a deeper dive than I usually do. But it's like, I feel like it's tradition here to catch up a little bit, because you always have to have a little bit of a catch up here, because you never know what we've been doing in our long hiatuses in between each and every episode we do, because it seems like it was about, I don't know, week and a half at minimum between between some. Spring break was pretty sick. Basically just made every streaming service my best friend and watched every good thing out there, pretty much, because we didn't go anywhere sunny. We stayed in Albany, Oregon.
Well, yeah, there was not really, I mean, we were supposed to go to California. It was snowing there too much for where we wanted to go, so we couldn't. So the world's changing, and
wow, took a deep turn.
No, it's just
Bianca's a 6 a.m. awaker. She left me sleeping in her bed, and I woke up feeling like I got left on like a one night stand. I was like, wait, where is everybody?
Usually when I wake up in the morning for school or for like work, I wake him up too, or he naturally wakes up and he leaves when I leave my house.
Yeah.
And he just comes back here and falls back to sleep. But today he looked so cozy and he wasn't waking up, so I just left him cuddling my dog.
You got up.
I was trying to be really quiet because I didn't want to. It was so early.
I like getting an early start on the day, and then
I'm glad I didn't wake you up. And you got to spend some more time with my dog.
Kind of. I was unconscious for the next 3 hours. I woke up and felt right.
Wasn't he? Wasn't he cuddling you on the bed after I left? He jumped back up with you, or no?
Yeah, at the foot of the bed.
Yeah. And then he got my blanket caught on his nail and was walking around. I guess Kellan said he walked down the stairs backwards because then his nail
was caught on his nail.
And then he got it off. But I need to make sure it's okay when I get home. I'll take a look.
He's fine. He just needs his nails clipped. He's just not the best about letting people do that.
He goes like this. But he's gotten a lot better. Okay. So that's our little update. Nothing really new.
That's enough about our life. Ted Lasso's looking good. Mandalorian kind of iffy. What else? Night Agent was pretty good.
Oh yeah, Night Agent was good.
Luther was really fucking scary. Makes me not want to post anything on the internet. But you know what? I'm not going to live in fear. So whatever.
We kind of... No, literally though, that was scary. We kind of started... I know all the rave right now is Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm sure whoever's watching this podcast doesn't even know what that show is.
We've watched 30 minutes.
We watched the first episode halfway through. So that's what we should watch later today.
No, we're going to go to bed early tonight because she has to wake up at 6 all the time. And she's complaining.
Because I'm exhausted. We stayed up till midnight. I got up today at 6:45. Then drove to campus, then went to the gym, and then ran errands. I literally been home.
To the gym?
I went to home.
Gym girl?
I've been at home for an hour and a half since 6:45, so I'm tired. And it is now 4 o'clock, just to give reference. Okay, enough of the wrap up.
Okay,
let's
are you ready
get
for
started.
This? Dude, I have an absolute itinerary here for you guys, all right? So, obviously, UFC News Alerts is one of our best friends on Instagram, but I put Instagram on, like, the 4th page of my iPhone because I've been going on it way too much. So I was, like, out of sight, out of mind, so I just put it on its own separate page in the back of my iPhone.
Do you really think that's helped at all?
I don't go on Instagram anymore. Completely forget about it.
No way.
So, actually, yeah, screw up. Also...
Okay, I should do that.
Yeah, you need to do that with TikTok.
I was going to say, I don't go on Instagram a whole lot. Like, I don't even have my notifications on, but... I would say TikTok's probably, honestly, even YouTube right now. I've been kind of watching a lot of YouTube, but that's okay. That's my escape. It's been my escape. Okay, continue.
So many good fights. So we're going to go over some good fights that are going on, some little bit of a head scratcher here, and then some things that infuriate me. And then I was trying to think of a game. Couldn't think of any games, all right? But I was just going through because the MMA Ranking is a really good website, and it just shows like all the fighters in like a UFC division or whatever. It's the rankings are pretty stupid. It looks a little bit glitchy right now. I think it might be under construction a little bit, the website. But I was just going through all of it, and I just wanted to kind of make my predictions on who I think is going to be like champion in the future. I know that's a really obviously not that creative of a topic, but I feel like I want to make predictions right now that I feel like are going to age really well in the future. And I want to see in the future how many I actually get right. And I tried to narrow it down to at least less than 5 guys in each division, but I'm just going to, for whatever whatever division, I went through every single men's and women's one, but there's multiple, and I'm just going to end up picking one out of the multiple that I pick. Some divisions only have 1 or 2, so it'll be easier, but other divisions sometimes have like 3 or 4 guys that I think might make it, so, or get a belt on them. But and then guys like Hiri who have touched gold, not going to count them, you know. And like Adesanya, I'm not going to count them obviously because they've already become champion and are more than capable of getting the belts back. But yeah, that's kind of like what I thought about. And then yeah, do a little Georgian fighter segment at the end. And then obviously we're talking about UFC 287, which is, I think actually it could be, because you know how like on main cards how there's probably like 2 or 3 shit fights, and then you're not only looking forward to the main event and the co-main event. Mm-hmm. This one actually I'm excited for all 5 fights, and in this case the prelims aren't that amazing, but the main card looks extremely stacked. I mean, like, I didn't realize that Christian Rodriguez versus Raul Rosas might be a little bit closer than people think. Raul's obviously a beast, but I was looking on social media today. I absolutely love it. Kevin Holland and Jorge Masvidal getting a little bit of an altercation in the hotel room, or in the hotel lobby in Miami, which I think is kind of interesting. And he made a joke. It'd be so funny if something, not funny because it would mean that something happened to Gilbert, but what if Kevin actually ended up fighting Jorge? Jorge would probably knock his ass out. But I just was thinking, in a street fight, I'm almost taking Kevin Holland over anybody. Because I feel like Kevin Holland, he's just kind of one of those, what do you call him? Vigilante type guys, because he always solves crime. Like, he's like stopped like 2 shoplifters or something. And he's just, I feel like there's just a different, because, you know, like when you're fighting inside the rules of a sport, like Colby Covington's pretty good, but I don't know if I would want Colby Covington in a street fight. You know, there's like certain guys that are just more scrappy, and I feel like they would fight more dirty. Because like a guy like Nate Diaz, even though street fights are relatively short, I feel like Nate, when people say that Nate just runs out of time in fights, it's honestly true. Like if you had a 6-round fight or an 8-round fight with Nate Diaz versus almost anybody in the world, I'm probably going to take Nate.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about, like how long that is. Like
just go to think about, like, you know, you missed a fight, but when he almost knocked out Leon Edwards, bro. If that goes into the 6th round, like, Nate Diaz gets absolutely pieced up by so many guys in the division, and he's not a very big, strong welterweight.
Yeah.
But the fact that he can hang in there and just find his shot eventually in a fight, you just know it's coming. No matter what, like even when he loses fights, he finds some way to win, and his stock still manages to rise despite absorbing so many strikes to the head, which is... I love that guy. But I think that if I'm going into street fight, if I could pick 2 guys, I'm honestly taking Kevin Holland and like Nate Diaz, dude, honestly. Over any other big guys.
Wow. I get it, though.
I know who you would take. The Reaper.
A little bit.
I could not... I feel like he's scary. He'd be scary in a street fight.
You think?
Honestly, like the scariest guys could actually be the guys that are really nice, because when you see them, like...
Because it almost like catches you off guard.
Yeah, it makes you really, really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I can't wait to do the picks for the main card because it's sick. And there's only one fight that I'm really looking forward to, but we'll get to that later, all right? The first thing that we'll hit on our itinerary, already 10 minutes into this, holy shit.
Yeah, this is going to be an hour long.
I got the sickest alert ever, and that is our boy, Pescatarian video, Kron Gracie, which was... probably one of the sickest videos I've ever watched. I probably rewatched that video. Like, it was the food, I forget what food, it was like Foodie. Is that like a net? YouTube channel?
Sounds like
or
it.
Munchies or something?
Yeah, I think Munchies is one.
Something like that. But they did a short documentary on Kron Gracie.
Oh.
He's going to be fighting the Warrior, the Charles Jourdain. This is probably going to be my fight of the year candidate just because when I got this alert on my phone when I saw it, Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain, it's going to be a straight up war. I rewatched the Kron versus Cub Swanson fight, and it just reminds me of a throwback like Vikings Valhalla fight scene. I showed Bianca the picture of Kron Gracie when he was fighting Cub Swanson, and he's an absolute mountain man, basically. But I just think that these two styles between these two guys mesh perfectly. The way that Kron Gracie just likes to rush in, and then Charles Jourdain needs a dance partner in order for a fight to go well for him. The only problem with Charles is if we don't get those inside trips addressed a little bit, he's going to be on his back a lot during this fight. Because in the Nathaniel Wood fight, you know how it seemed like Nathaniel could take Charles Jourdain down at will. Every time they engaged, Nate was just like, okay, I'm just going to put you on your back for a second and then either get on top of you and then just win a round or let you back up to your feet. And I guess just kind of keep you thinking on edge the entire time of, oh, when am I going to do this trip? When am I going to take you down? So I just really hope Charles Jourdain's been working on his takedown defense, because if this fight can stay on the feet, Kron Gracie's chin is insane. He has like the thudding power. It's not like necessarily one punch knockout power, but Charles Jourdain, when he gets in the flow state on the feet, he's one of the most exciting featherweights on planet Earth. But Kron Gracie, I just really hope this fight stays on the feet, because it has... Both of these guys are just so insanely durable that you could get 15 minutes of just pure action, but at the same time, I could also see Charles Jourdain just getting tripped the whole time or getting choked out in the first round. But when I saw this, I was like, this is a perfect comeback fight for Kron, because it's a super favorable matchup, super tough, but it's also a great opportunity for Charles Jourdain to bounce back and get a good win under his belt, because if you fight a jiu-jitsu fighter like Kron Gracie and get a dub over him, I mean, that's a huge feather in your cap. So I was just super stoked to see this fight. And I think that it's going to blow a lot of people's mind. I really hope so. Because it seems like every fight Kron Gracie's in is really exciting. He either gets a finish or it's a... Well, he hasn't fought that many times in the UFC. He's only beat like Alex Caceres and fought Cub Swanson. But yeah. Then, dude, head scratcher here. What do you think about Renato Moicano and getting the fight against Arman Tsarukyan? And I did my own little monologue, like I was practicing in the car, like what I would say on the podcast, because I'm an absolute professional. And I think that the funny thing here is Money Moicano, the X factor with him is that the guy's confidence is at an all-time high. Does Moicano have the skill set to beat Arman Tsarukyan?
Yeah. Heard it here
this
first,
is a
ladies.
True
Heard it here
Hanato
first.
Moicano fan right here. Only
you don't.
Moicano fans would say yes to that question. Because we're talking about a guy that went 15 minutes with Islam Makhachev. And Money Moicano could be in for a long night against the Armenian superhero.
There's no way he's beating him.
No.
But
I'm pretty sure Arman's legs are the size of Hanato's body.
Then talk about bad matchup.
Dude, yeah, I just don't understand this matchup, okay? It is right now, though, when you're really taking a peek and take a little glimpsey at the rankings, it is like it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because Renato, his stock's at an all-time high after his dub over Brad Riddell. And who knows, baby? Are we going to get another what happens if Jeff Neal can stay on the feet for a Shavkat Rakhmonov situation right here? Because if we do... It could be closer than we think. It's just the difference is if Hanato's takedown defense is not on point, we're just going to see Arman Joel Alvarez the hell out of Renato. And it's going to be a bloody mess. But if Renato can pull a Jeff Neal, like Jeff Neal did against Shavkat, and stuff a few takedowns, land a few of his long, rangy punches, because he can drop you if you're not careful. And if he's super dangerous with his jiu-jitsu, so he can catch you in a submission. But I'm just thinking in terms of power, speed, skill, fight IQ. It's tough, but I think that we could get a little bit of a spicier matchup than we insist, because what does MMA do? What does the UFC do? It surprises you all the time. Like,
you're not wrong.
Did I think Alex Pereira is going to knock out Israel Adesanya, basically? No, I didn't think that. Did I think Jeff Neal was going to start landing left bombs from hell on Shavkat? Didn't think that.
Can't say I did.
Trying to think of some more. Did I think Leon was going to knock out Kamaru Usman? And dude,
hell
the
no.
Dark Realm? Did I think that he was going to get that dub the second fight around?
HEL double hockey
I don't
sticks,
know if he really did
sticks.
win that fight. Colby Covington's the champ. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I think that Hanato, just because Money Moicano has blossomed, could get a closer matchup than we expect.
You know what I forgot? Our new chalk.
Dang it! Yeah. Dang it! False fist bump.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Well, we got new chalk finally, so be on the lookout. Maybe next episode we'll have a cool AGNG drawing up here, or we'll actually have the episode number on the clicker, which you guys probably don't see that part. Does it get edited out every time?
Yeah, I edit it out every time.
Just kidding. Sorry, continue.
Hanato's 13, Arman 8. It's a tough matchup for our boy. Dude, I saw Cledison Rodriguez versus Tatsu Taira. Gonna keep this one short. That's gonna be a real banger. Holy moly. Two of the best little flyweight prospects on planet Earth going at it. Cledison, buzzsaw, Tatsu Taira, practitioner. Just an absolute assassin. It's gonna be crazy. And since we're on like the topic of lightweight really fast with Arman and Hanato, and we just saw the Gaethje versus Fiziev fight, we need to stop it right now with because I think people are thinking less of Islam Makhachev after that Alexander Volkanovski fight, and we need to acknowledge that Alexander Volkanovski right now he's the number one lightweight on planet Earth underneath Islam, because in my opinion he could almost be the champion if you win that 5th round of that last fight. That speaks volumes to me, honestly. If you win the 5th round of any fight, you're the guy. That means you finished the fight stronger than the dude that beat you. And in real life, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we just need to stop with Justin Gaethje. Although your power is insane, bro, Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev's going to grab you. He's going to strangle you, okay, when you guys fight. Because I know he's not the same as Khabib Nurmagomedov, but dudes wasn't on his A game, I don't think, against Alexander Volkanovski. And what did Charles Oliveira do to both of you guys? Oh, yeah, he choked you the fuck out. So, and what did Islam do? He choked out the guy that choked you out. So I just think we need to put some respect on Islam's name and say that the door's not as wide open as you think, man. Bro. Door's not as wide open as you think. And if you want to go and fight him, good luck. And also, Connor's going to get the title shot over both of you guys. So... yeah, sorry.
Hard pill to swallow.
It's gonna be tough for you guys. I wish I had back and forth, like somebody that was like countering
Banter,
me.
yeah, so that
be like, oh, nuh-uh. I'd be like, yeah, right. You think so?
So you can just spit all these facts out.
Yeah, just spit all the facts. But Islam is going to strangle Dustin and Gaethje, and that's a fact. So stop thinking you're gonna beat him. All right. That's all I got to say on that.
Oh, God. Let's see what happens.
What do we have on the
itinerary?
What do I have? Song versus Simone is very important.
Can I see this?
Yes. What did we see? We saw Corey the Sandman Sandhagen as locked in as ever versus Marlon Chito Vera. Probably one of the sickest performances we've seen. Did he get a little bit tougher towards the later rounds? Yeah, but sure, Marlon Chito just never got it going, and he is a little bit of a late starter. So you can see how some of those rounds were a little bit closer towards the end, but he got those early rounds, and that was what was important, okay? And Corey Sandhagen looked dialed, bro. He looked killer instinct, just a very scary man in there. The way he was just kind of marching forward, throwing his shots, but also mixing in the takedown, dude. Those looping hooks, his fun little uppercut that he does to create angles for other punches. He looked absolutely sick. And it just goes to show that I don't think anybody's going to beat Merab Dvalishvili. That's all I got to say here.
So the main point is
we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that against Merab, because if we're doing that Russian in style, okay, we're going to get a Georgian double leg takedown, and he's just going to... I just don't see how anybody's beating Merab Dvalishvili, okay? I know that Suga can land that shot, and I know that Corey Sandhagen is super dangerous, super creative, super unorthodox, and has really good foot movement or footwork, and he can fight really well just working around the octagon and simultaneously like, pushing the pressure if he needs to. But it's just going to be really tough for anybody to beat a constant barrage of takedowns and pushing up against the fence like Merab does. And I think that we have at the top of the rankings, obviously, O'Malley and our boy Corey Sandhagen. They are right there at the top. Super tough challenges for Merab, but I think that at the end of the day, you got to go down the rankings a little bit to this Ricky Simón versus Song Yadong fight in terms of stylistic matchups that can nullify Merab, okay? Ricky Simón is a tank of a human being. And he's already beat Merab. Or no, he lost to Merab. Wait, did he beat Merab? Yeah, he beat Merab, all right? And I just think that constant takedowns aren't going to work against a guy that is the same size as you. All this stuff works really well. I mean, obviously, Petr Yan did a really good job stuffing takedowns and stuff, but when you get a guy... There's just not a lot of offensive wrestling from Petr Yan. When you can get a dude that can fucking wrestle you back is when Merab is going to get in a little bit more trouble. And I think a dude like Song Yadong and Ricky Simón, those are the guys that are going to beat Merab and have a better chance, because there's, even though Song Yadong, he does like to be a little bit striking heavy, if he has to, he can reverse position and start landing some huge ground and pound shots, you know what I'm saying? Because guys like Corey Sandhagen and Sean O'Malley, I feel like they're going to be really pressed to try to create space and always just, you know, they just want to land those really good shots and like sway judges like to, they just need those big moments to win rounds and stuff. But with Ricky Simón and Song Yadong, if they get in those terrible situations, I feel like they're going to be more willing to accept that and accept those bad situations than try to transition. I don't know. It's like hard to explain. I feel like Corey Sandhagen and Sean O'Malley, when they get in the bad position, they're going to try to create space, and they're going to try to like land big shots, and they might panic a little bit. But with Ricky Simón and Song Yadong, I just really think that their abilities to create scrambles and just kind of accept the suck against Merab, they're just going to have more success with that. Because Sean O'Malley, you know, he just wants to like create space, land his big shot. Corey Sandhagen likes to have likes to be on his feet, likes to use his footwork. But Song and Ricky, they're not afraid to put you in a fucking chokehold, and they're not afraid to land ground and pound and lay on you for a round. And I think that's the only way, because those are guys with the only similar styles to Aljamain. And Aljamain obviously is not going to fight Merab, even though we all would love to see it. But yeah, and that kind of brings us down a little bit to Adrian Yanez at number 12, because like Adrian Yanez, he's like the only other X factor I could see maybe beating him, but we haven't really seen his takedown. Like, he has fought good, like Gustavo Lopez is a good wrestler. He beat him pretty handily. I don't know. We'll get to that fight later, just because to me, Adrian Yanez, that fight is the one that stands out to me most, because out of everybody else in the division between Ricky Simón and Song Yadong, below the top 10, Adrian Yanez definitely has an opportunity to get a chance at the belt, especially if some of those strikers knock off Merab and some of those wrestlers at the top. And then, okay, so what was... Since we're in bantamweight right now, we'll just get this part over with. Yeah. I was going through, and Saidyokub Kakhramonov, I was looking at MMA ranking. Where did Saidyokub go? He's not in the UFC anymore, bro.
What?
And I was reading articles on it. He got absolutely screwed. And this dude has only lost... Like, how many fights would you think it takes for you to not get re-signed in the UFC?
Like, how many losses?
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, okay. Try 1 to a dude...
What?
He only lost 1 time.
Maybe even like 6.
To a dude... 6?
Well, I guess 5 then.
Dude, why isn't Said Nurmagomedov in the top 15 of bantamweight? But Saidyokub Kakhramonov was basically manhandling Said Nurmagomedov, who is one of the scariest.
How do you say these names? All I hear is Ov. Ov.
No, it's just you just gotta. They're honestly more phonetically correct than you think.
Which that is true because English doesn't make sense, but it's still so interesting that you can like pronounce all these foreign names.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it though, like Giga Chikadze, it literally looks exactly how it's spelled. Nurmagomedov. You know?
Nurmagomedov.
Mokayev Ulanbekov.
I would say Ulanbekov.
Ulanbekov. That sounds like one person.
because
Ulanbekov.
That's just because, like, you know how I segment words?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my brain thinks differently, but yeah.
I think that the Brazilian names are the most confusing.
Yeah, that's true. They're R's and H's and...
Well, spelling Brazilian names are a pain because there's always a random I after an E.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff.
Interesting.
But, okay, let's get back to this.
Sorry.
The UFC messed up by not re-signing Saidyokub Kakhramonov. And I really hope it's not because he's a really wrestling forward guy. Because if we're actually looking at really fun matchups to make, a Merab Dvalishvili versus Saidyokub Kakhramonov would be so unbelievably fun. Because they have the exact same styles. Like you think that Merab Dvalishvili is he's obviously a machine. But you think of him as being kind of an anomaly. I'm willing to guess that there's tons of guys out there just like him. And Saidyokub Kakhramonov is one of those dudes that can constantly, like, if you go back and watch the Ronnie Lawrence fight, one of the most impressive barrages of takedown attempts that you'll ever see. Just constant. I forget how many he landed on. It was like 12 or something, but losing him sucks because when you're looking in a division where looking like Merab is going to bust out through all these fun strikers, you want a dude that can counteract that kind of same style. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to be a champion and he's going to be back. And I was reading the article saying that wherever he signed with, I forget what it was called. It's like Merab Fight League or something like that. Saying that he needs 2 to 3 wins before he's back in the UFC. What are you talking about? Before he got popped with that guillotine against Said Nurmagomedov, he was basically beating a guy that has not really even tasted a loss in his entire life. He was mauling him until he got caught in that guillotine. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Is it Dana White saying it's not a fun style? Which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I've seen way, way worse styles in the UFC than Saidyokub Kakhramonov. Like, come on. It's so annoying. And Trevin Jones, he just lost to Cody Garbrandt. He was still in the UFC. And Saidyokub destroyed him. So I don't know why they would release a young prospect too. It's not like he's 30. He's like 27 years old. So imagine when he's 31 what he could do.
Uh-huh. That's so
And he's doing it now.
That is so weird to think about that they would do that.
Yeah, he said he got done dirty and I didn't realize he was gone. I was just looking through MMA ranking. I was like, what? This guy's a legend.
He's going to come back?
Dude, fuck that. No, he should just take a bunch of money from PFL or Bellator and just be the champion there. Because he doesn't need anything left to prove. I mean, besides, eventually you want to come back and just show everyone up. But I know, and I'm sure a ton of people out there that are fans of him know how good he is. Like, he doesn't need to prove himself in the UFC. He's going to run through any other division's fighters. It's going to be crazy. That's when you want to get one of those interpromotional bouts going on. That'd be fun. Eventually, it's going to happen. UFC for now is fine. Give it 15 years. Mm-hmm. There's going to be just as good guys in other fight promotions, and it's going to be sick. And we're just going to have to cover more professional associations or promotions for MMA. But for right now, we're going to stick with the UFC because that's my favorite fighters in it. Plus, I don't have time on Saturday. I don't get all these people watch 3-4 fight cards on a Saturday or on a Friday and Saturday and Sunday or whatever.
You would do that.
I only would watch the UFC. It's a lot of fights. Some people will watch like Bellator, PFL, like all that stuff. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
I don't know how like Ariel Helwani knows so much stuff about everything.
It's exhausting, I bet.
Yeah. So yeah, Kakhramonov's gonna be back, and then I was also looking because that prompted me to go see. Who else have they released recently? And I think they released like Guido Canetti, maybe, which is
Guido.
There's a lot worse guys.
The one that gave you a video?
No, that's Clay Guida.
Oh, I was like, what?
But Guido Canetti, who just lost to who's our boy? Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista's looking nice too. He's kind of like Ricky Simone. I think they train together or something. Maybe. No, he trains with in Arizona, right? With Sean O'Malley, maybe MMA Lab. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. But I really think that a fun matchup for Damir, because when I was reading the article, it says that when I was reading the list, I was surprised to see Damir Ismagulov's name on the list, saying that he retired or something, and I was like, well, what? I guess I don't follow MMA social media that closely, I guess, and this was back in January. But then he wants to fight out his last fight. He didn't realize he had a last fight before he said he was going to retire. So he was going to do that, but it's going to be his last fight. And again, Damir Ismagulov, his last time out, he lost to Arman Tsarukyan, who is one of the best lightweights on planet Earth. And I don't know why you want to retire besides, I get it, if you have like health problems, but that was the only time he's lost. He's like barely has any losses. I think that's like the second time he's lost in MMA, his MMA career. He's like close to 30 fights or something weird.
Wow.
Like, or over like, I know he has over like 20 wins or something, but he wanted that rematch against Arman Tsarukyan, but we know that that's not going to happen, probably just because after Arman gets this dub over Hanato, hopefully, please don't jinx anything. Arman's going to be fighting for a title really quick. So the next one that I was looking at is who is a fun, common, like who has a good style that could clash with Damir, but still kind of let him go out displaying all of his skills. Who would be fun, and who is a guy that nobody really wants to fight right now? And it's Mateusz Gamrot versus Damir Ismagulov. It would be so sick. Mateusz is coming off a big dub over the Jalen Turner, who the only way to beat Jalen Turner, even though Mateusz probably got a lot of heat for it, is to try and take him down the entire time, okay? Like, there's very few lightweights on planet Earth that can hang on the feet, just solely striking with Jalen Turner. Because how would you like to, when you're like a 5'9" guy, fight with a dude with an 80-inch wingspan that's 6'3", 155 pounds? I don't think that's a lot of fun for a lot of guys. So if you have the ability to grapple with old Jalen Turner, you do it. And you just block out the outside noise. Fuck everybody that thinks it's a boring style. Mateusz Gamrot is the absolute man. I love Gamer. And that fight would be insane because I think Damir Ismagulov has a bad taste left in his mouth from that Arman Tsarukyan fight because he kind of got taken down at will, even though we all know Damir has good takedown defense. It's just that Arman's on a different level. But Damir, if he could get a dub over Mateusz Gamrot, that might give him a little bit of a taste to re-sign another contract with the UFC because I don't think he's done. He's only like, I think he's 31, 32. Dude's in his prime. I don't know. I don't want him to retire, but I get it if it's health related, but it can't be health related. Can't be that bad if you're coming back to fight one more time.
Yeah,
and you want to fight a guy like Arman Tsarukyan,
yeah.
so you can't be in that bad health if you want to fight the freaking future lightweight champion of the world. So Damir Ismagulov, please come back. Please fight Mateusz Gamrot. That clash style would be so much fun. Damir Ismagulov would have his way with Mateusz Gamrot on the feet. All you have to do is just worry about stuffing those takedowns and scramble back up to your feet when Mateusz eventually gets a takedown because he takes down at least everybody he's fought. He took down freaking Beneil Dariush, who's a stone brick wall. So that would be fun. I learned a lot today about things I had no idea even happened between Saidyokub and Damir. Those are two of my favorite fighters, and I didn't realize they were almost gone from the UFC.
So sad.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
But I think that the biggest storyline of them all is that our boy Ilia Topuria is one fight away, finally, from a UFC title shot. And I'm pretty confident in saying that just because Josh Emmett is the, what do you call it? Number 5 featherweight on planet Earth. So I really don't see any other reason for Ilia to fight another fight if he gets this dub over Josh Emmett. Just give that boy the title shot because he's the next UFC superstar. He talks shit with everybody. He's more confident than everybody, and he looks the part. And he talks pretty well for being from a foreign country. And he brings the foreign vibes. You know how many Georgian fighters came to support who was it? Was it Dolidze? Roman Dolidze that was fighting? There was tons of Georgian fighters. They're like the most passionate fans on planet Earth, I guess, for MMA.
I mean, seriously,
and
that.
I think that Ilia Topuria versus Josh, it's going to be every time Ilia Topuria steps in the octagon, it's a masterclass. It's an exciting fight. He finds a way to just get the other guy engaged, but he can take a shot when things aren't going right, change levels. Like, just probably the most well-rounded. I don't even know. I just didn't know. He's just must-watch TV every single time. And I think that Josh Emmett, they have similar styles, but when it comes down to it, Ilia just finds the chin. Ilia works the body. I think he's just going to, over time, kind of just Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett. But you never know. It could be more interesting than we think. And as we know, Josh Emmett, all it takes is one. And who knows? But in my eyes, it's a favorable matchup for Ilia in terms of looking at the other guys in the division. Obviously, Ilia would run through Brian Ortega, but Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez those are tough-ass fights, bro. But Ilia being thrown into the mix, if he gets this dub, it only makes the featherweight division better, and it gives new blood for Alexander Volkanovski to want to stick around and test himself, because an Ilia Topuria versus Alexander Volkanovski fight would be extremely interesting. Super fun. What's up?
Is Aljamain's hair cut off, or is it really just that straight of a line? Cut.
He has an absolute insane flat top.
Really? I mean, literally.
Could you imagine if it was...
Look how flat that is.
No, that's cut off. But, I mean...
They did him dirty with that, though. Dude,
when I was looking at that, too, you could almost pass that as a flat top.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't question it if you told me that's his cut. Like, once you see, you can't really unsee it as a flat top.
No. I honestly could believe it now.
Yeah, right?
If it wasn't so damn straight.
I know. That's the thing. Like
that's seriously just like a straight up perpendicular line or whatever you call it.
Like, they for real just gave him a flat top. Like, what does it look like then? Is it rounded?
Yeah, it's a little bit more fro-ish. Let me see. Bro, that's insane. On the UFC website, Aljamain Sterling looks like he has the most legendary flat top of all time. Aljamain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit more fluffy at the top.
Yeah.
Not as...
It's got a little
chopped off.
It's like a dome.
Dude, could you imagine? It looks like someone took like a weed whacker and just went right over
Literally. That's like... Wasn't that like a style back in the day? Like in the 90s?
Yeah, I think some guys still try to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
Didn't that Iman Shumpert guy have that? You know the dude that swung around that one girl in the dance competition? That really tall former NBA basketball player? They won like an award for like... It was like that dancing show. Remember they did like that
Dancing
weird...
with the Stars?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
that
was
guy.
so good.
He almost had... I think he had a flat top.
That dance that they did and like got 310s or whatever was from the movie Us. The scary movie that I wanted us to watch. You know how they were wearing like red suits in it? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
And they wore like a red jumpsuit? Yeah, that song and their outfit was from that scary movie that I said I wanted us to watch. It's literally based off that.
I will not watch Us.
Yeah, he's so annoying. It's really scary though.
I won't.
I hit my leg today on a table and I had to pretend like I didn't. And I hit the corner of my thigh like on a table like this at school. And I hit it so hard and I literally was just there like this.
That's
like nothing
the
had
worst
happened and I
feeling
wanted
ever.
to yell the F word.
Every time I go around my bed, if it cuts my leg, I know
that one does hurt too.
Just
but
yell.
I just know I can tell because it's hard right here that I'm gonna have a massive bruise.
Oh, you will.
I need to look
100%.
after this.
Now, the final thing that we'll get to is Kellan's future predictions that are going to age like fine wine. All right? I'm not really going way out of bounds here. It's not too far out of the imagination, but some of them are. Heavyweights, I picked Sergey Pavlovich, Sergey Spivak, Almeida, and Aspinall. But if I'm going to pick one that is going to touch gold, I have one pick that is really tough, really far out there, and the other ones are pretty safe, but we're not going to be safe here. We're going to go Jailton Almeida, touches UFC gold some point in his career, probably within the next year, 2 years. All right. Light heavyweight, we'll go Nikita Krylov. That's a freaking stretch there. I think that he could do it, though. Big, strong, minor man. Middleweight, we're going to go freaking another long shot. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. He's going to get it. Welterweight, I had 3. Gabriel Bonfim, Ian Gary, and Jack Della Maddalena. 3 guys that will probably touch gold, but I'm going to have to go with Jack Della Maddalena because he's probably the coolest guy in the UFC. Featherweight. Easy. Ilia Topuria.
Is it?
But also, watch out for Jack Shore. Okay? Just saying. Jack Shore.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Bantamweight. Obviously, Javid. The long shot is Rinya Nakamura from the Asian tournament series that we watched. Flyweight. For the girls. Because I don't think anybody else didn't do a good job of that. Flyweight girls. Because I didn't think anybody else in the girls' divisions are going to knock them off. And then I also didn't really look at the men's flyweight division very well. We'll look at that here in a second. Natalia Silva is going to win that flyweight championship one day. Is that how you say your name, bro?
You're asking me? Natalia Silva?
Yeah, that's her. She's a beast. And then who else? Who could take the dub at flyweight, bro? Who could take the dub at flyweight for men? God, someone beat John Jones. Jesus Christ. See his face on here.
Oh.
Pantoja? I don't know. Oh, Manel Cap. Duh. Yeah, let's go.
Duh.
Dude, that sucked that he got sick or whatever. Or that was Alex Perez had a seizure before their fight on the fight day. What? Yeah, that's brutal, bro. Hopefully you're okay. That's scary. Could someone beat John Jones? Please? Stipe. Please, dude. I'll DM Stephen Kwan to win you guys a freaking World Series championship if you can beat John Jones, all right? Please.
Stephen Kwan.
Stephen Kwan's the man. So many good Beavers are balling out this year.
That's so cool.
Getting 4 strikes out every time, though. No, I'm just kidding. He had a good game today.
Yep.
Giants got pummeled. All right. Fun times. Well, I'm sorry that I just jinxed all these future champions. Probably never going to touch gold in your life now. Bye, guys.
We just spit a lot of facts at you, so, or not we, he
Rewatch,
did.
digest.
So thank you for sticking through that.
It's a fun radio show.
Yeah, sorry that I didn't really talk much. Energy level's a little down today, but I'll be better next time. So, Kellan just really took the reins on this one. Like usual. High five.
Yeah, I'm getting better at doing it by myself.
Is that supposed to be a jab?
No.
He just jabbed me.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, maybe you'll see me next week. Maybe not. We'll see. Might
See
be
you
here,
guys.
might not be here. If he's so good at doing them alone.
See you guys for the 2024 episodes. See you guys till then, huh?
See you in about like 3.5 weeks.
Yes.
Time's out. Pretty
All right.
good. Thank you for watching. Are you going to say thanks for listening?
Thank you guys. You have
You're
no idea
ending this
how much
so nonchalant.
You have no idea how much it means to me. guys don't even watch the whole episode anyway. You won't even make it to this part. You only watch the clips. Vlog out for 1 minute of the clips anyway, too.
You don't care to say goodbye. You're like, they're not even going to see this. Peace out.
Later.
Bye.
Okay. I'm an idiot. Bianca's on the couch right now, but I forgot to even talk about UFC 287. So we're going to do it really quickly, give our main card picks, all right? And who knows? Maybe we'll see Jorge and Kevin Holland throw down. You never know if there's a weight miss. But we're hoping not, because this, like we said earlier, is one of the sickest top to bottom main cards, pay-per-views, most worth your money, I think, that they've had so far this year. So, I guess then we'll kind of... Joseph Pfeiffer's going to have a tough test here against Gerald Meerschaert, but maybe we're going to go with Pfeiffer, but it's tough to get Gerald out of there. Even though Gerald does get popped, he usually finds a way to get that fight to the ground after the other dude gets tired, and he sinks in a choke. Usually submits guys that he fights. That's just the way it is. Steve Garcia hits hard. Trey Ogden versus Ignacio Bahamondes is fighting. Ignacio is an absolute freak show at lightweight. That's going to be a good fight. I don't know who's going to win. I hope Kelvin Gastelum gets on the win column. But I want to talk about the main card right now. Okay, so Raul Rosas versus Christian Rodriguez. Didn't really know that Christian Rodriguez is kind of good. But is he going to get off his back when Raul eventually takes him down? I know that Christian's got good... I mean, he appears to have good submissions. I mean, he kind of looked like he had good-ish takedown defense against Weems, but Weems is not Raul Rosas Jr., so who knows? But the only time Christian Rodriguez has lost is to JSP, Jonathan Pierce, and that dude's one of the better 145ers on planet Earth. So I guess Christian moved down in weight, but that's going to be a more competitive fight than I think people think, and I hope it is, because it is really crappy when a guy just goes in there and buzzsaws his opponent. So it's cool that Raul wasn't afraid to take this fight against a pretty good young bantamweight. So, but I'm still going with Raul. I'm going Kevin Holland over Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think it's going to be fight of the night. Ponzinibbio always throws down, and I was really excited for him because he looked kind of down and out in that Morono fight, even though Morono did step on a short notice, I think, on that fight. So it was a tough stylistic kind of adjustment for him, but I was happy they finally got on the winning side of things after kind of getting screwed in 2 split decisions with Jeff Neal, I think, and Michel Pereira. And Kevin Holland, very favorable matchup. The way that he can kind of just shock guys and keep them at range with his long levers, it's going to be a really interesting fight. I want to see if Santiago could get in there and take a shot, because Kevin Holland can wobble you. He wobbled freaking Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and that's one of the better 170-pound strikers we've ever seen grace the octagon. But the main fight I'm looking forward to is Adrian Yanez versus Rob Font. I think Adrian's going to have a field day with Rob, but this is going to be a boxing match, and it's going to be a fun fight, but Adrian Yanez, I think he's going to get the dub. Burns wipes the floor with Jorge, and then I think it's better for the middleweight division if Israel Adesanya gets the dub over Alex Pereira. It's not good for the other guys that want to crack at the title, but I think it's good for the UFC because I don't think it makes sense. Well, it's tough because on one hand, you can look at it as it's more wide open with Pereira as the champion, but on the other hand, the way I feel is it's the very same kind of similar situation with Kamaru Usman, in the sense that Kamaru Usman is one of the most insane gatekeepers you will ever have in the history of the UFC, and guys that are going to have to go through him to get to Leon Edwards are going to fail, and guys that are going to have to go through Israel Adesanya to get a title shot, if Izzy ends up losing this fight, which I don't think he will, they're going to be screwed. So I think it's honestly better for the UFC if Israel just wins, because then we'll have more open-endedness in terms of guys there'll just be a better shot for guys to get a title shot, because if they have to go through Israel Adesanya to get to the title shot, they're going to lose, and that's just going to knock them back even further. So that's all I have to say, honestly. Israel Adesanya is the man at middleweight, and I think he's going to prove it. All he needed was 5 more seconds in that second round of their first fight. But hopefully Gilbert Burns does enough against Jorge Masvidal to earn himself a title shot, because Gilbert Burns is low-key like in his kind of like peak performance prime right now. And I want to see him get another title shot because I think he could be a nightmare for Leon. So we'll see. Even a Gilbert versus Colby would be fun. It'd be fun to see Gilbert take out Colby, because I feel like Gilbert, out of a lot of the guys, has got the most disrespect from Colby, because Colby, he kind of just dismisses Gilbert no matter what Gilbert has done or accomplished, which is wild considering Gilbert is the only good guy to face Khamzat Chimaev out of all those top guys. So yeah, it's gonna be a good card. On the undercard, I'm most looking forward to Ignacio Bahamondes. But all right, thanks guys, and later.